What is going on with everybody? It's your boy Eric, aka Young God, coming to you live in the Green Dungeon, giving it to you real, raw, rugged. And I have a lovely person on the other line. I'm going to let her introduce herself. Who do we have?
I am spelling. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, I'm happy to have you. How are you doing?
Doing well. Got some sun out here in California. I'm out here in Richmond, California, hanging out with my little dog. She's over there somewhere.
Well,
Sleeping.
you have a. Is this like a room in your house? This is like a really like colorful, crazy room.
Yeah, this is my art studio. So I make visual art, also lots of drawings. There's there's all kinds of stuff.
That's beautiful. Did you create this yourself?
Yeah, I hated like how these lights are. They're just super like hospital like. So I did it like right ago. I just wanted it like that exact same shade.
Yeah,
Um,
that it looks
yeah.
beautiful. It looks beautiful. I like the clouds and the blue in the background. Did you also do the art on the wall?
Yep, I did everything in here, so it feels like my place to create. Like I made my whole album in here and over the summer, so it was worth it to like make it feel like a special place.
When you're making music in there, does it like I don't know, does it like enhance your like creative juices, or does it put you in like a zone where you feel like you're in a creative space in that room?
Absolutely, yeah. I have a room, so like this other room is kind of the dark side, or like I'll like write in there, or just like write out this. But when I come in this side, it's kind of like creative. I'll just set off and
Hold on, say that again. You kind of broke up. Say the last part again.
just that time goes by so quickly, and or sometimes really slowly. It's just like easy to forget where I am.
Yeah, your house looks really fun. Like it looks like a big playhouse. This looks amazing. That's really fun. So you say you're in California, though, right?
Yeah, yeah. I grew up in Sacramento, California, and I've been in the Bay Area for like the last 6 years. So
How's it out there? I've never been. Like, I'm going to California actually this summer. It's my first time. So how's it out there?
you're gonna have so much fun. It's great, especially the Bay. I mean, growing up, I didn't travel much or like go many places outside of California. So, or like even outside of the Bay Area or Sacramento. So now that I'm like making music, I get to go other places. But so the Bay Area is just home, and I've spent my whole life here pretty much. And it's laid back. It's just laid back and beautiful. All the stereotypes are true. I think.
That's what I was going to ask you. That's crazy. I was literally going to ask you a stereotype question about the Bay. I was going to say the only thing I know about the Bay Area is that y'all dance all the time. And I was going to ask, are you a dancer? Like, only thing I know is like y'all fizz dance. Is that something? Do you know how to fizz?
Yeah, I think you have to if you're really from the Bay. Uh,
That's like it's something you have to do if you're from the Bay. You got to know how to fizz. That's hilarious.
yeah, you're born that way. It's great. Yeah, I'm really proud. I feel like our energy here is like we're a small, like it's a small community. Oakland isn't that big, or like the Bay Area isn't that big compared to other like big cities, but still we have like such a big heart and influence on the world. I think that's so cool. Like our music gets to have a say worldwide,
Well,
which is really
like I said, I don't know too much about the Bay Area. I know a couple artists out there, but from my understanding, I think your music is really different from a lot of things that come out from the Bay Area. So, like, where do you, I guess, grasp like the influences from if they're not from the Bay Area?
well. I feel like a lot of my influences like aren't always just musical. Um, so it's hard to say. It's so hard to say. I feel like the community that I know about, like who does underground music, or like who I kind of like when I started learning about how to make music in the first place, were just from friends who were kind of like on that same wave of like throwing house shows, or like just having and like work stuff out together. Everyone was kind of like coming from a style of like let's break down like what we think music needs to be like. So a lot of people like just doing like spoken word or poetry or like a mixture of that with music. So I feel like that's kind of like my background and influence as far as like Bay Area vibes. Um, but yeah, like I write a lot from just like a storytelling point of view. I feel like, and the music comes secondary because I can always play instruments or like even how to make music. So like I was just always writing stories or writing like having like really strong ideas, and then figuring out how to like later make it with music.
Well, I guess to kind of rewind, because you said that a lot of your influences sometimes don't come from music. So, outside of music, what are things that you're into? You got art, so you got music. What else are you into?
Yeah, I'm really into science, like science fiction, sci-fi, like just wild ideas about outer space. Like I'm really interested in like thinking about the future a lot, thinking about like other forms of life in the world. So I think about that a lot. Like Sun Ra is one of my favorite like thinker slash musician, um, and he was just like about like building up a myth around himself. So I'm like, yeah, just really all stories, all kinds of stuff like that.
So you say that you're into like outer space things and like extraterrestrial life. Are you in? Are you have like any conspiracy theories about the Earth that you believe?
Flat
You're
earther.
a flat earther.
I'm just kidding. I don't have any big conspiracies at all. I'm like kind of a person that's like, um, I like to believe in like sometimes asking the right questions more than answering them. So I like to think about like possibilities rather than like answers. I don't know. That's really vague and mysterious,
No, it's
but
okay.
I'm just wide open to like all sorts of ideas. I don't have any space conspiracies, but I do believe in life outside of our own perspective, and I love to think about like how do you even think outside of your own perspective, like growing up in your body and like your thoughts are your reality. So I'm always questioning that, like how our thoughts are reality, and like how other like life's thoughts make their reality. And
Well,
I wish I had time thinking about that.
well, no. Well, to tie that in about aliens, because I know real fun. You said you had that about, or you wrote that song after having a dream about, I guess, alien interaction. So to kind of rewind a little bit more and to explain to you how I even discovered you. Somebody sent me one of your songs, and it was like, yo, I don't know how to explain this, but it's pretty out there. You might like it, you might not. So I listened to it, and it was Under the Sun, and I was really confused after I was done. I was like, I don't know if I just like joined a cult or what, but this is really it's really next level. So I had to take a break for like 2 days. I was like, I can't listen to this. I have to take a break. So I listened to the album, and it just felt like, I don't know, I was joining like some type of like extraterrestrial other being, like life form. It felt like I was transitioning to another human. Like it was crazy. So I think I enjoy the fact that you are like you. I feel like a lot of people, they might like, just not even music, but just in life, people hop on trends. People do things that they think that others will perceive as cool or as nifty or whatever. Or they might become weird because they say, "Oh, we're being weird. It's cool. I'm gonna skateboard and wear Vans. I'm so weird." But I can like tell that you're just being like 100% yourself, and I think that's a beautiful trait that you have.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, and I was so happy to like see your review because I don't know lately, when I've been asked or like prompted to talk about what I do, it feels like the people who are asking aren't coming from a place of like joy in music anymore. Like they don't even like feel like they're inspired or like happy about like the music they review at all. So that's kind of like disappointing sometimes. So I was really happy to see someone like, even if you don't like what I'm doing, like if you I still feel like there's a way to find joy in like listening to music or like talking about music. So that's what I appreciated about your review. And I think, yeah, it's like a struggle. Like artists want to be unique. I get it. It's like you want to have your own sound and like, but when you fake it and like, when you're forcing yourself to make something you think will be liked, I feel like that just like strips away the soul from it. So music without the intention of sharing it to anybody at first. And then I had a friend that kind of like, he lived in Sac, and he was like, you should play a show with me. And I'm like, I don't even have a music name yet. I have 2 songs. This was in 2016. Yeah. And I played a set in Sacramento to like a bar full of like maybe like 6 people. And I was trembling. I was so nervous. But yeah, and I had to like bounce back from that because that was a terrible experience. I was like devastated. I felt like this is never something I want to do. Like, I'm never going to share my music ever again. But then I'm also stubborn. I'm like a Taurus, and I'm like, I gotta bounce back at least from that. So the second time I played a show, it was like way better, and started to feel like, oh, I can actually do this, and people are happy. Like, people are feeling it, and that made me feel really good. So.
Well, yeah, I want to say thank you for your nice words about my review. I was very excited to talk about that. And I was going to ask you, did you look at anybody else's review on YouTube, like the Needle Drops or anybody like that?
I try not to actually look at too many reviews. I saw the Needle Drop one because I was like, what? I used to see this guy like doing other people's reviews. So I'm like, hey, this is surreal. I can't believe this. So I did watch that one. But oftentimes I try to just like filter out all of that because I'm sensitive. It hurts, guys. Sometimes it hurts, you know. It's like you're so intimate, like you know what to do so well, and like things get misinterpreted, misunderstood, or like just slammed. And so it's just like ultimately like sometimes it's helpful, but most of the times it's kind of not. Like I try to just like my friends screen it for me. They'll be like, how is it? They're like, yeah, you should check that one out. And they're like, you should check out yours. Yeah. You're like,
I think it's funny because like I definitely understand that. Like you think if you put out like a classic, like, oh, this is amazing, then somebody like review it, you're like, man, this shit trash. And you're like, what? Like, you're like, no. So I definitely understand that. Like that'll make you almost look key, be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I understand. I definitely like. Have you ever watched a review and somebody just like, or read a review, somebody just basically like shitted on it and it like hurt your feelings? Has that ever actually happened before?
Not with it. Like I'm only like, this is my second album, and like so I haven't put out that much music in the world yet. And like when I put out my first record, it was all pretty like self done, and I just put it up on Bandcamp. People who were supporting me were kind of like friends.
Yeah.
And people from my community, and now like with this record it's just like all over, and it's become like an entity of itself, so that's different. But when I first signed to my record label, Bigger Bones, and I put out my single, that was kind of like the first, I think, experience of that, where it's like a much wider audience is gonna see this, and I'm getting all sorts of comments that are like, oh shit, okay. It tested me, like my ability, and just realizing like you have to just build up a certain tough skin and like not let that affect you, and just be confident in what you're doing. Because if you try to change it up based on something someone says, who are you serving? Like who's the music serving? And I have to just keep remembering like that shouldn't persuade me in any way.
Well, something that I've like come to realize, I've always like heard this quote. People say you can't please everybody. Like that's an actual thing. Like you could be on camera saying how much you love the world and how much you want positivity to be spread. Somebody would comment, be like, "Shut the hell up, you loser!" And you'd be like, "What? Like, I want everybody to be happy." So like, you have to like, I know you say you're sensitive. You just gotta have to like realize there are going to be people. No matter what, you can put out the world greatest song, there's going to be at least 1,000 people that comment and be like, this is terrible. And I don't know, it's weird. I don't get it. Because I like the way, like, because when you emailed me, you were talking about like positivity and how you enjoy positivity, and I enjoy your positivity as well. But it's so weird that we live in a world where I feel like negativity gets attention. Like the people who, like, some people literally base their career off of, I want to troll and be negative and get popular. That's crazy to me. So I don't know, this is weird.
It's just I mean, that's so true. And my dad, I remember like crying one time because I saw some like fucked up YouTube comment, and I was like, just don't read the YouTube comments. Yeah. It's really just trash sometimes, and yeah, you're never gonna please everybody, and you shouldn't want to. Like that's the thing. Like he kept reminding me, like you shouldn't want to please everybody, and it's true.
No, that is definitely a fact. And I mean, speaking of Mazy Fly, I definitely want to talk about a couple songs off of the album because some crazy stuff on here, man. Hard to Please Reprise. I think that's a really amazing song. It's like a really amazing song from the instrumental. Wait, that's what I want to ask you. Do you produce your songs as well, or is there a producer with
Yeah,
you? Oh, you produce your songs as well.
yeah, I produced it all.
That's an amazing instrumental. I don't know if you have any like what made you like watch there two versions of basically Hard to Please.
Um, I made the first one, and I just realized like it could translate into other versions. Like it just had that melody that was like easy to retranslate. And when I put it out, everyone's like, "Oh, I like this song. It's just too short. It's too
Yeah.
short." Even my label was like, "You think you want to make it a little longer?" And I'm like, "No, I love that about it. I love that it's like really like compact." And then I thought, well, what if I did another like extended version? And then it had its own vibe though. It had its own life. Like it felt like the same sort of like it was. I was singing about the same thing, but in a different way. So that's why I wanted it to be a reprise, like a retelling.
Yeah, like that's a very good point. Like I've been looking at music as almost like like environments, and I feel like the original song it has its whole environment, and then the reprise is in a completely different environment. Like the reprise sounds like you're like somewhere like in a swamp, and you have like a long white dress. I could just see it like being like very swampy, and that's what I like picture in my head. But when I listen to the original version, it's a completely different thing. So I think
Yeah,
that that's really cool that you can make the same song with the same lyrics, but make it sound completely different, just with different instrumentation. So I think that's really cool that you could definitely do that. Another song on the album that I want to talk about is real fun. We kind of touched on that. For the people that didn't read the caption on Instagram that I did, explain why you wrote that song and what the song is about.
yeah. I think that's my favorite track on the record. Um, So let me try to explain. I'm a very vivid dreamer. I'm always like keeping a dream journal, writing down my dreams and stuff. And I think doing that for so long, like I've been doing that for 6 years, and like you just get in the practice of like remembering things, like remembering details so clearly. But I was in Brooklyn when I had this dream. I just like woke up and I remembered like it felt so real. It felt like all these lights were over Brooklyn, and it kind of like made this really loud thunderous sound, and everyone was just paused in time. And then the aliens like were communicating through sound, like through music, and they were like sharing these ideas through their music. And as soon as I got up, I like wrote it down and like was thinking about it, but I started to get the melody like first. Like I felt like through the dream, I like remembered the melody, and it's that like guitar riff at the beginning. I didn't have my instruments with me, so I was just like humming it in my voice memos for later, and I kind of forgot about it. And then like a month or two later, I just started playing around with it on my guitar again. And so yeah, it's just about like I thought about why would aliens have any like desire to contact us or like have a relationship with us, um, if they're so much more advanced or not, like what would bring them here. And I felt like music is like just a vibration that any like entity could understand or like communicate with. So I was just getting into it, like imagining, damn, like what iconic people would the aliens rock with, like
I think they
just
would rock with you. I think they would
accurate
rock with
prints.
you.
Like they would. I mean, I feel like that's the best of us, like best of humanity is like recorded through those voices and their accomplishments, and it's so cool to think about that, like being shared through galaxies.
No, that's a fact. I love the way that you came on. Like another thing that I think is really good about you is your voice. Like you could sing. Like a lot of people in R&B and like just in like people that sing, I feel like a lot of people rely heavy on like studio effects and things like that. But your voice is really beautiful actually on these tracks. The way you came in with the joy rise as the sun. That was hard, man. The aliens looking for real fun. Like I love the way That's one thing I want to say. I love the way that you have good voice control. Like you can come in with like a kind of high voice and then you can lower it. Have you practiced singing like all your life, or is this something that you kind of like picked up recently, like singing? Because you got really good voice control.
Thank you. Um, just through doing it in the last 2 years, like I always felt like I could definitely carry a tune, or like I have good, I have a good like knack for pitch and just like I'm on key and everything, but I didn't have a good hold of the potential of my voice until I actually like, started making music
Hmm.
and I figured out like what my strengths are. And I didn't realize like someone pointed out like, wow, you always sing so slow. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that I was doing that, but I don't know. That's just my nature is kind of like I like things that are deep and like just when you like really pull out the whole word, like it makes you think about it in a new way. Um, so I like to sing slowly, and yeah, my inspirations like I was always inspired by Sade and like the texture of her voice and like how if Sade was like making metal music or like making like hardcore music, like I feel like her voice would be great for that. Even though it's also known for being like gentle and smooth, I feel like it's just powerful and like can like enter into like the dark side. And I like yeah, I just like singing low and slow.
No, yeah. I mean, specifically on this song, Sade is amazing, but specifically on this song, I don't know. You put me in the mindset of Erica Badu, just the way like your voice came in, and I don't know if that's somebody that inspires you, but I can see you guys like definitely like having kindred spirits.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was just humming one of your songs in my head today, or just thinking about like it's so funny because like now that I make music, I Erica Badu is like one I grew up on. Like my mom just played her albums on repeat, and I love Erica Badu, but I didn't listen to it the same way I would now. Like
Mm.
now when I back into art, like oh, like I can hear everything in like their recording process. So
Yeah.
it's so fun. It's like I get to hear everything brand new for a second time. So I want to like go back and listen to all these Erica Badu records.
Definitely, yeah. She definitely has a lot of amazing records.
Yeah.
Have you? Would you ever think about like being like, I guess, producers for other people? I don't know if you have already, but me finding out that you actually produce like these songs, that's amazing. So, like, have you ever thought about like trying to reach out to people? Or are people reaching out to you, or how's that going?
Not so much with producing. So like the thing is like I'm like it's so Frankenstein. Like my projects are a mess. Like I work really. It's like kind of chaotic right now as I try to figure out a flow. I think down the road, that's my dream. Is like I want to have a recording studio. I want to record for other folks because I think I could do really well with it. Songwriting also, which is actually something I'm
Mm.
currently starting to work on. Is like writing songs, helping other people write songs or like co-writing and collabing. Because I have like a lot of times I'll write a song and I'll be like, this is dope, but I don't think spelling would put this out or
Yeah.
something. Kind of someone else could turn it into their own thing. So that's something that's really exciting. I want to do
No,
more.
I know you have like a lot of music things on your plate, but personally, I think that you should like try like writing in general because I feel like you have a very interesting mind, and I feel like a lot of people that let's say if they weren't in the type of music that you make just because they like hardcore metal or whatever, I feel
Yeah.
like your brain and your thoughts are interesting enough to be like in a book or something like that. I don't know if you ever thought about that or poetry or something. I feel like I feel like you'd do really good at that.
Thank you. Like I started out writing poetry, but I never felt like it was enough. Like
Mm.
it was good and interesting, but I always felt like like I would write it and be like, this is nice. It's not enough. And I think when I started making music, it felt like, oh, now it's alive. Like the poetry gets to have a real life. So yeah, I think music and poetry are so similar, though. Uh, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, there definitely are. If there's anything else you have to say before we get out of here, please let the people know out there.
Um, just thank you so much for your time and energy. I appreciate it, and it's so great to talk with you. Um, I'm working on a new project right now. I'm really excited. So hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have like a little mini EP out or a single. So stay tuned.
Well,
Yeah, and it's spelling with three L's.
You know, I just realized that like recently. I thought it was two L's. I didn't even realize it was three L's. That's crazy.
Yeah, just to make it harder for my music to be found, I
It's,
added another L.
you
So
did. You
don't
did.
forget the L. Search it.
Well, until next time, everybody. I say what I mean. I mean what I say.